Well, this was on my mind, but I wanted to sit here and then to discuss with you guys about um, being soul tied and being sexually soul tied to somebody and the effect of what it is. See, having having sex with somebody is, it's not just a physical thing. It's a spiritual thing. And when you have sex with somebody, you become spiritually connected with that person, which means that um, which means that have you ever sit here and had sex with somebody, and for those that are not virgin, and somehow you start acting like that individual. That's what happens, and for me now to be 26 and for me to understand it now I begin to understand why God sit here and ordain sex for marriage, because it brings that unity, that oneness. See, um, along with this, you know, I address to you guys is that you have to be completely open and honest when you get into a committed relationship with somebody, and that and for me to be a man, I don't know as far as the woman perspective of it, but for me to be a man, and what I believe in is, when you make a decision, um, just to commit with somebody and to grow into marriage, or just build into a nice, solid relationship, it is very important that you just be open and you be completely open about um, about who you had sex with, you know, because the thing about it is the very thing that you do not tell that person about, it would show up later on. And when I say show up later on, uh, it would definitely come to the light. I tell people now, that if you don't break that soul tie with that person, it could be 10 years or 11 years from now. You could be married, just maybe going into your third or your fourth year of your marriage, and that person can pop up. That person that you had sex with 10 years ago can pop up, and all of a sudden, those feelings and those urges that you had before can come back if you don't break it. And especially when you sit here and you try to commit, especially when you make that commitment with somebody, um, that you love and that you care about, it's very openly important that you let it all out. And when I say let it all out, just be completely honest about it. For women, for you women out there, it's not it's not going to symbolize you as a thought. It's not going to symbolize you as you was out here on the streets. A man definitely a man will respect a woman just to be open and honest with something like that, and just to be upfront about that. You know, I you know I you know from a woman's side, I already know, women, women are more verbal than men, and that's true. Y'all know that. And so women always ask that question, how many women you had, or they would question you down. But oftentimes, for men, we don't ask that question, you know. And I definitely think, especially going on into this year, that's what's so important, because when you want to love somebody, when you want to connect with somebody, when you see uh, the foundation of her being a wife, the foundation for him to be a husband, being sexually, having, knowing about that sexual tie with somebody else is so important, because you don't want that individual to betray somebody else. You don't want that person to imitate somebody else. You want that person when y'all become one, y'all are you know, as I call it, y'all are a unit. For some, they call it y'all just become one. But that's a process of and I have said so many times, it is a process in growing to being one. Now, for myself, just a good example, um, the longest relationship that I had, um, you know, she questioned me about it. You know, I spoke of it when I asked her about her relations with other guys. Never told me about it. We was in college. Never told me about it. You know, never spoke of it. You know, she went on a girls trip, connected with a guy. Never told me about it. Like never spoke about it. But at the moment that we wound up calling it quits, guess who I wound up seeing around? That guy. You know, even for me, especially at the time too, because of the lack of knowledge, she was showing signs of different things, but for me, I wasn't completely aware. Prime example, I remember we had an argument, and she went to go, she went to go to a motel. Why are you in a motel? You feel me? Only to later to assume, you know, I mean, not to assume, but to later to find out because of the other guy. That's what I'm saying. You have to be upfront and honest. You know, you don't want nothing attached to the love of your life, your soulmate. You don't want nothing. You don't want anything attached that will hinder not only that soulmate but you. So being upfront, not just as a sexual tie, even though this is a topic that I'm discussing about, but everything else, to be completely upfront and honest about it, and and to address it from the door before you walk in. Address it from the door. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what history, whatever situation that you is, address it at the door. Because you know what, that allows the individual to make the decision whether to go through it or to walk away from it. Is this going to benefit me or is it not? If it's not, I could easily turn around and I could walk away. If it is, I could walk to it, and I could grow in it, and I could be very efficient in it, and I can inspire it and motivate it, and become an even better and greater individual. That's how it is. See, oftentimes people don't do that, especially nowadays. People are more, uh, you 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 know, oftentimes people nowadays don't really do it either. And it seems like it just gets worse now. But it needs to be at that given moment, at that given time, where being completely upfront about it at the door is so important. And you know that helps an individual to make a better conscious decision. Don't make the decision for the person. Give that individual that chance to make the decision for themselves. Don't just assume that, well he ain't gonna mind if I have all these guy friends. Well he ain't gonna mind if if you know, he ain't gonna mind that I got a homeboy. You know, I got a college friend. We had sex one time, but you know, we decided to be friends. Vice versa, the guy, she ain't gonna mind. I connected with this girl. You know, we been best friends for 10 years. We had sex one time, but she ain't gonna mind that. No, you be upfront. You be honest with it. You know what I'm saying? Because anything, because of that tie, if it's not broken, oh, it could easily be back on the center, and back in the front line, and that cause problems that can destroy an individual's life. that will hurt the person that you love, that can hurt the person that you care about, and it's so true. I know for myself, I know for myself that that moment of, going through my, going through my schedule that day, and to see her with him, and that crushed me. That broke me. Something that you could have informed me at the door, but because you never told me at the door, my when I exit, he walked in, and I saw him when he come in. Get what I'm saying? So I tell, so I'm saying to individuals, be upfront. Be upfront with your sexuality. Be upfront with it. Be at the door with it. It don't matter if you had sex with 30 men, guys, vice versa. You had sex with 30 women. Be upfront with it. Be straight up with it, because you are trying to walk in a door where 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 this woman is the right woman for you, and that she's a soulmate. She's amazing. She's beautiful, and that's going to hinder you, because you may go into the mall, you may want to go into a club, and you want to see that woman that you were soul tied to, and because it's not broken, it can regroup. And what happens? You hurt the love of the woman of your life. Vice versa to that woman. It don't matter if you had sex with 30 men. That's just a number that I just made up. But even if it's 30, confront her at the door, because same thing with you. You go to the mall, you can go to the club, you can watch TV, you can watch a movie, and because that soul tie is not, because that sexual tie is not broken. You can see a movie or something, and you can sit here and easily reminisce about that sexual connection with another guy, while you sit here supposed to be building a life and a family with a man that you said to your mother, that you said to him, said with your kids, that you love and that you want to spend the rest of your life with. This is a year, and I say this for New Year's. This is a year that we have to be honest and be open, because it's it is time where the negative energy has to go and positivity has to be built within us, and we just don't own we not only just how can I put it? We not only just absorb it, but we give it away. This is a time where relationships have to be stronger, marriages have to be stronger. Parents with kids have to be stronger. Even if you're co-parents, it has to be stronger. If y'all broke up on something, and it had that issue, and y'all still have that grudge, address it at the door, because it's going to affect y'all kids. So I'm addressing to y'all before I even go to bed. It was just on my heart to just say, just be honest. So as I say, stay positive, and as always, peace and love.